For my chicken pie, I'm gonna use Fillo Factory phyllo dough. I've got part of the filling already going here, just a little bit of leek and red onion sauteing. And I'm gonna add a touch of garlic to this. Just really want to soften this up. We don't want it to be crunchy when we add it to my shredded chicken here. So I just want to warm this. This is really just to toast my pine nuts. And in the meantime, I can start adding everything else to the filling. You can use leftover chicken for this. You could use leftover Thanksgiving turkey. Any meat that you can shred would work in this. So I'm going to add my cheeses. I have a little bit of Greek feta. And I have another Greek cheese in here called kefalotiri. This is a sharp sheep's milk cheese, really flavorful. I'm adding my pine nuts to this. My raisins, and these are Greek raisins, of course. I have cinnamon, cumin, and a little bit of clove here. And just a little bit of nutmeg. You get the best flavor when you grate it directly. And I'm gonna add mint and parsley. And if you don't have mint or parsley, you could use something else. Basil would be really nice in here. Fresh oregano would work really well. And a touch of olive oil. I guess more than a touch. Sometimes when you make fillings that are a little bit on the heavy side, or they could be a little bit wet if you've got a lot of vegetables in there, you want to add some kind of grain that will absorb some of that excess moisture so that the bottom of the phyllo isn't soggy after it's baked. So I'm going to add just a touch of rice to absorb whatever excess moisture is in here. Ready for my phyllo. I'm just going to get my pan ready first. Have to oil it, of course. Phyllo stresses people out. It might be a little bit cracked or torn if it's all condensed, but it doesn't really matter in the end because it's not going to show. I'm going to cut that just about in half. And let me show you a little trick. So I fold it over exactly like a book and open the first sheet and brush, let's say, the inside of the book jacket with a little bit of olive oil. You just want to work a little bit fast. You really want to get the edges lubricated. That's the most important part. The top sheet stays unoiled for the time being. Folding my phyllo book in the opposite direction and just opening it this way. And you can see, it's a little bit crinkled in the middle. It doesn't really matter. That is absolutely not going to show. The real point is just to work fast and get those edges covered. And there we go. I got my top layer beautifully oiled there. And then I'm just going to lift up this whole stack. And there are about 8 or 9 sheets here. I actually didn't count. And just place that right in the pan. So we're going to empty our filling right over the surface of the oiled phyllo. The best phyllo pies are the ones that are a little bit on the thin side. You don't have to, the filling doesn't have to be 2 inches thick. I'm pressing it down so that it's really compact. It'll bake better that way. I'm going to do exactly the same thing for the top sheets. I'm ready to cover my chicken phyllo pie. And you want to pat it down. This is also something to remember when you work with phyllo. You want to score it. You don't want to draw the knife all the way down because the phyllo will come apart when you bake it if you do that. But you want to mark your serving pieces. So you draw it up and down And if it cracks a little bit, it really doesn't matter. No one is gonna see that when it's done. So you can see that's, that's a pretty good sized piece. That's good lunch. You wanna just dampen the top layer a little bit. So this is ready to go into the oven. I'm gonna bake it at 350 for about 45 minutes to an hour. Kind of depends on your own oven. My pie is pretty much pre-cut, and I'm just cutting through the pieces to make it a little bit easier to get it out. Wow, this smells really good. I can smell the cinnamon and all those great warm spices. And let's put a little garnish on this plate. Just a little bit of parsley. But now I want to taste it, and it looks great. It smells great. The chicken is really mild, but everything else in it is wonderful. Those cheeses, I get all the richness of those sheep's milk cheeses, the pine nuts, the raisins, those great spices, the cinnamon, the cumin, the nutmeg. It's really good.